So let's take into account first the raids. For all three raids, assuming that you have a P0 6-star and say like a P3 or higher 5-star, I would say the top three units that have relevance in all three stages are 6, or Tooth Fairy, 6, and Necrologist. With Tooth Fairy, it's pretty obvious because she increases your damage output. She's able to heal in multiple ways, both passively and via her incantations. She purifies, just an all-around fantastic unit. 6, even though he's not out yet, it's very clear from the mains bulletin mechanics that his collection of buffs as well as his collection of debuffs provide pretty much everything you want in a raid. For instance, with the Marsh creation, it incentivizes you to basically have a counter up at all times, and 6 is able to generate counters. 6 also heals. 6 also debuffs, which is very useful in the Gold in the Cave. And with Darkness in the Abyss, it's been a while since I played Darkness in the Abyss, but over there, having like the damage boost as well as the damage mitigation that 6 provides is all incredibly useful. And Necrologist is also incredibly useful because, especially in Gold in the Cave and Marsh creation, because not only does she increase the party-wide damage boost of your party, increase your party-wide damage boost, applies prayer, and if your characters already have prayer, she heals those characters with the prayer buff, and she can dispel too. So on Marsh creation, she's just incredible, and if you're trying to break past 1 mil in any content, Necrologist is pretty much the way to go as a 4th person. So that is the reason why these 3 are tier 0s. Now for tier 0.5s, these are very good characters, but not like auto includes for every single raid. For instance, Voyager is very good for the first 2 raids. The Darkness of the Abyss with her being star but also dealing counter damage, but also on the Marsh creation, because with Marsh creation does extra damage to you if you don't have some sort of counter up. With Ann and Lee, same idea, having the buff that not only increases your damage mitigation as well as reducing incoming damage, and also just having a buff in general makes it so that Marsh creation doesn't deal extra damage to you. That's also another reason why Necrologist is so good, because her prayer buff counts as a buff, and once it sticks, it stays on until your character gets KO'd. Oh yeah, and Purifying Frostbite as well. Actually, yeah, that's right. Purifying Frostbite. Yes, I'm trying to remember how Purifying Frostbites worked. It's been like almost 2 weeks, but I remember Voyager was very crucial for that. And then Pickles is very good on Marsh creation. And the thing is, if you could only have Pickles and Necrologist, you'd probably go Necrologist because you get the prayer, whereas Pickles doesn't. Pickles is nice because Pickles dispels the counter that a Marsh creation puts up, whereas Necrologist cannot. So if you can pair Pickles and Necrologist together, that would be even better, I think. You can Purify Frostbite with 6 buff or act 2 rounds. Oh yeah, that's right. Follow-up attack counts as 1 action. Thank you for reminding me of that, yes. So like for instance, Lilia's Crosswind Takeoff, it counts as 2 attacks, so that 1 incantation can actually dispel a Frostbite, which is really nice. And speaking of, if we're talking about the Darkness of the Abyss, 37 plus Lilia combo is actually decent, but like Stringdoll said, if you have 37 at P0, her damage is decent with the Genesis buff, but in other content probably would not be as high. But I suppose, speaking on this content right now, as of this recording, 37 and Lily as a combination is incredible for Limbo 6-2 as well as Darkness of the Abyss. So for that reason, actually, I would actually bring them at the tail end of T0.5. And actually, along the same vein, I would probably Melania, like Stringdoll mentioned before. Melania is a fantastic DPS that you can run on multiple raids, as well as like any Limbo. And Beacorn Bloom, same thing. Beacorn Bloom has relevance in the Gold in the Cave, as well as Limbo. But I want to say that some of my viewers and friends on Discord, they also run Beacorn Bloom in maybe, yeah, probably just Golden the Cave. So, okay, and then actually Balloon Party, I probably bring T0.5 as well, just because her role in Marsh creation, there's a lot of people who have gotten very good scores with Balloon Party. Just her ability to heal, but not only heal, but set up the counters, that's really valuable. So for those who don't want to run Voyager, but have a decent healer with the ability to set up counters, Balloon Party is an excellent alternative. Miss New Babel is a character who I think is worthy at the top of T1 because I think she's actually quite good in Marsh creation. I did run her on the 4th slot, and she was, with her shields and her counter abilities and her ability to draw aggro, and with her being mineral, she helped me get 990k on the Marsh creation. But I think Miss New Babel could also have some synergy with 37 and Lilia as another Eureka generator. And then Shemaine is very good for Gold in the Cave because his 3 debuffs make it so that the Gold in the Cave does not have increased penetration rate, which makes it so that you can survive decently well, like up until like round 25, 26, 27 even. Medicine Pocket being a fantastic healer for Limbo. Jessica Sotheby for Limbo as a dual poison core. And then Druvis as an excellent sub DPS if you want her for petrifying. And then Sonetto for the disarm, A-Knight for the DPS, Centurion, Charlie for the DPS, Regulus as a good sub DPS. Although she's fallen off a little bit just because, well, no, she's actually risen again, right? Because Limbo changed. Yeah, we just have tankier characters on Limbo. And then Eternity being an excellent mineral sub DPS. And then for tier 2 is basically all the characters that are still somewhat playable on Limbo if you don't have the characters above. So I put X at the top because even though I don't know anyone who does this, but if you don't have a dispeller like Pickles or Necrologist, the next best dispeller would be X. And X is interesting because X can actually dispel counters, whereas Necrologist can't. But X is not a character you would bring if you want a very high score. And then Sweetheart being an excellent DPS to run in Limbo, a DK an excellent healer, and then Satsuki if you want to go the Petrify route, and then Baby Blue and the rest. I think the rest of the characters are not as interesting. They're pretty generic characters that are very niche depending on the damage dealers that you run. So I won't spend that much time talking about them. I think just honorable mentions would be that Twin Sleep and Zima, they have very fantastic kits, but they wouldn't go higher because you wouldn't run them in raids. Yeah, and then Rabies is kind of up there as well because of, there's not many poison applicators. I think that's pretty much everything. I'm sure there's like 1 or 2 characters in T4 that could bump up one, but with raids in the limelight, I think that people aren't really talking about the 3-star or 4-star characters at this point. They're really, I would say that if you want to clear every single kind of content, you really should only focus on like tier 1s and higher if you can help it. So anyways, that's my opinion. For those of you guys who are doing endgame content or who are playing a lot of these characters that are T2 or below, maybe comment in the comment section below how you would modify this tier list to be more accurate in your view. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy content like this, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.